Alright, back with the Sears Silvertone from what did we say it was? 1937? I don't even remember when did I post the last video? It was sometime in April, if I remember correctly. It was like 3 months ago, maybe more. We took this from the, it was sitting in the basement for the longest time. I got it from my step-grandfather's estate sale and never got around to working on it. And finally, like I said, 3-4 months ago, we started with part 1. We looked at the, we fixed the dial cord temporarily with just a piece of string from, you know, the stuff you use to tie the stuff to the turkey at Thanksgiving or Christmas or whenever you like to do that. And we changed the audio output tube, I believe. I believe there was an audio issue. We changed the audio output. I think we figured out that there may have been an issue with the oscillator tube, the tuner oscillator. It was causing weak signal in AM and no signal in shortwave. That's about. I haven't touched it since. It's been in its new home, which you saw at the end of part 1. And I decided to take it back out to the workbench today and do an alignment on it. It needs a bit of an alignment, or just peak the trimmers, just adjust the trimmers in the back, and the IF cans and such, and the RF. And since the last video, we made progress with the I-tube. If you remember in the last video, it had a dead I-tube, and I got another one from eBay. It's not the same number. I finally figured out what tube it was to get a replacement. Apparently, it's a very rare I-tube, but I found a few replacements on eBay. I found this RCA that I got. It's a 6AF6G. So, but my luck wasn't all that great with it. I found out after I plugged it in that it lights up, and it's a new old stock, and it's nice and bright. And the seller said it tested fine, but it doesn't close. Now that's not the tube, that's the radio, of course, that it's plugged into. So what did I call it? The I-tube. I thought I said the IF tube for a second. The I-tube didn't close when the radio was tuned into a strong signal, like not iNews 880 anymore, Global News 880. I still want to call it iNews 880, but it's been changed now. It's rebranded to Global News 880. It's not iNews anymore. And so it lights up. It's nice and bright. I can turn it on, but you won't notice it because I got the 500 watt construction lamp on. That's so you've gotten as far as to get a new I-tube, a new magic I-tube in there that glows and turn it nice and bright. But it doesn't open and close when you're tuning into a strong when you're tuning through the band. It'll open wider if I turn it to the end of the shortwave band, shortwave 2. So that's 5.6 megahertz to 17 megahertz. And the top of the shortwave band was what used to be the old police/aircraft band, of course. It's not. Does the camera see that? See how it's not opened all the way?
Uninstall it, because by doing that, you keep your attack surface more bounded. The NSA,
and then if I go to shortwave, you see how it opens more.
I'm Ed Donahue.
It's a busy day in sports with the Olympics.
But from what I heard, I went back on the forum, and I guess that has to do with possibly an open resistor between pin 1 and pin 2 underneath the chassis somewhere.
The Chinese government is accused of aggressively
meaning it's connected to the leads of the plug, the socket. Alright, so we're all apart now. Here's the new oscillator, the new I-tube. It's an RCA 6AF6G. New old stock. This is probably the most expensive tube I bought in. It doesn't surprise me. These older tubes, especially new old stock, these old style tubes are expensive, especially if they're a rare tube number. There's the oscillator. It is the original, so it wouldn't surprise me if it's a little bit weak. But if I put my finger on it, it'll improve the signal. Let me put these knobs back on here. Okay, so there's the new pilot lamp. There's the new pilot light there, by the way. You can see I kind of did a tacky repair job there, because I didn't have the right. That's just temporary, because I didn't really have the right light. Yeah, that eye tube is so. It should sound a lot louder than that. And if I touch the oscillator with my finger,
well, maybe call him. I'll have to ask her.
Look, just I wanted to let you know.
Send me a text message right now, okay?
so I'm thinking. I mean, typically it doesn't get very warm, but it gets somewhat warm. It doesn't feel very warm. National Union, made in USA, 6K8. So I'm guessing they supplied tubes and stuff for Silvertone. Or maybe they're the ones that made the Silvertone National Union. The 41 output tube is National Union. All the other ones are replacement. Actually, this one might not be the one in the great big shield here. This has a phono jack on the back too. I wonder if I could plug my phone. We might try that in this video. I wonder if I can plug my phone into there. Anyways, let's try a different oscillator and see if that improves anything. You know, I saw the 6K7 and it reminded me. These are from the. This is a 6A8. These are from that dead Stromberg Carlson. I saw the 6K7. It's a Marconi, and it reminded me that I think we fiddled with the oscillator in the last video. Well, we did with shortwave, but I think we fiddled with changing them around in the last video. So I don't know, we'll see if the 6A8 works. Let's see what happens here. 6A8. Plug her in. Turn it on. Okay, so there's the 6. Okay, so I got the 6A8 in now. Let's see if that improves. If not, we'll go straight to adjusting the trimmers. Not any better.
The classic super pack has arrived. 76 with chances to win up to $1 million instantly. Available at your lotto spot.
This tuning capacitor, once you get to the end of the band, makes a lot of noise. See? And we did clean it.
Heading back up near 29 for the forecast.
The other one sounds almost better, the original, than this one. So I guess we'll go straight to adjusting the trimmer, so it's not the oscillator. These damn tube sockets are so stiff. Yeah, we did clean the tuning capacitor in the prior video. It didn't help too much, but there is a bent, there's a fin here at the end that's kind of bent, or it's loose, actually. I don't know how that happened. I could bring it so that it's closed here. You know, you can't really see this very good on camera, but is that a little better? I'll show it on camera in a bit here. I gotta swap the oscillator back out. Alright, so I took the tuning dial off the front, and I'm just put the knob on here so I can just tweak it here. It's easier because I don't want to damage this. I got this correct, and I don't really remember how I did it before, so I don't want to wreck it. But if you remember correctly, once we got to the end of the band, it gets really noisy here. Once it gets all the way down like that, it gets really crackly. And I noticed that there's, see? Is it back in place now? It's a little bit bent. And it's a little you can see there's all sorts of crap and stuff down in there at the bottom too, which doesn't help. So I think I got that fixed now. But it's still rubbing. See the other ones? This one is a bit too close too. That's too far now. It's this one and this one. Some of these are bent out of place. Okay, well let's we'll work on that, and then let's see if we can clean this up a bit. It's a little loose too. I don't know who worked on this before. Someone replaced one capacitor underneath and replaced some of the tubes. They were in here before I was, but it's a bit. Yeah. Alright. And the same thing we did in the first part. A couple weeks ago I borrowed my grandfather's air compressor. If I had that, I could blow some air into this and blow all the dust and crap out of here. Yeah, let's see if that made a difference here. I got the original oscillator back in, by the way. You could also have to do it where I have the antenna right now. It's not in the... It's just a piece of wire that was on it that's clipped to this. I have a clip lead on it. See if that made a difference. Yeah, kind of did. wonder if I should. There we go.
Across the country aren't up to muster.
People for Education says access to childcare is
I got a
inequitable.
clip lead on the oscillator there.
Availability varying widely based on location. It all
If you see trouble in traffic,
Afternoon, of course, in the sportscast, Cam Mooner will join me. You missed some of it, and you want to know it in a nutshell.
Because there's no truth in him. When he...
Yeah, I got the hell.
And the father of it. Satan is the master liar. There is no...
Sound like someone's pulled up on my driveway for a second.
And Satan has
See if we can adjust the, that's 930. I think that's right on the dot though. It's hard to do it like this.
Satan that is murder. He wants to bring death to youth, happiness, joy,
There we go, see?
spiritual death, physical death, eternal death. He's a murderer.
So let's see
And his method is the lie.
if we can tweak the
His method is the lie.
IF here.
We need today to learn to treasure
So,
truth. Now again,
Let's
look
see
at
here.
our verse of scripture. The Bible says here, buy the truth and sell it not. Three things I want to lay on your heart today out of that verse of scripture. Number one, brothers and sisters,
okay?
we must prize the truth. That is, we must value truth in our own heart. Truth is indispensable. Why did God give us the Bible? Well, the Lord Jesus says the Bible is truth. It is called the Word of Truth. Why did God send
Wasn't
us the
off
Holy
too much
Spirit?
actually.
Well, He is called the Spirit of Truth.
This one was off on the right, left-hand side right here.
Oh, what a Savior. He said, I am the truth. Why are we worshiping here in this church?
Most of the reopened road and the...
that's right. So we were in contact with the minister's office. We prepared a submission explaining all the ways in which we
I
felt
think
the
that's
university
740.
violated the tuition and fees regulations, and in which we felt the tuition
That's a bit better now.
proposals were reasonable. And,
Lot
we had a
stronger.
good
This was off.
conversation, and while the tuition proposals have not been fully vetoed by the minister,
It's a bit loose too.
So the university will have to completely revise their proposals and redo consultation in September and October with a deadline of October 29th. So this isn't over, but we have made
Go
a lot
back
of
to
progress.
840. I'm adjusting the trimmers on the side of the tuner now. See, that makes a difference. This thing here.
Every music plays here. CW is Alberta's country legend.
Hey, as good as it's gonna get.
Aftermarket clothes.
Stand the person of truth, but you don't have the power of truth. The truth without power is deadening and depressing. That's what the Bible calls the letter of the law.
Plus. Head to the App Store, download the new enhanced iHeartRadio, and listen to TSN 1260.
There's TSN 1260,
CFRN AM Edmonton, and iHeartRadio.
CFRN, which is also same call sign for CFRN CTV Edmonton here. CFRN GT for digital television.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass. When your windshield
Copyright. See if I get 1440.
repair, visit Crystal Glass.
1260. That noise you hear is the garage. It's a Wi-Fi garage door opener, which I didn't realize. I said it in the prior video. I didn't realize it was a garage door Wi-Fi garage door opener. You need a new garage door opener, and a friend of my dad's generously picked it up and helped us put it up. And we didn't realize it was a Wi-Fi garage door opener, which is fine. There's an app for it, and you can use the app to open it and close it, which is kind of cool. But it causes, because it's Wi-Fi, it puts out a signal on what 2.4, which puts out a what 2.4 gigs or 5 gigahertz, somewhere in that frequency range. And I touch the transformer, how it goes away. So it emits interference on AM and AM only and long wave. Not on shortwave though. It's not bad on shortwave. Let me see, by the way. Speaking of shortwave, I do got a long wire on here. I don't know how well it's connected though to the. I think it's this tacky connection is part to blame. It's not very. And if I touch it and wiggle it, doesn't do much though, so maybe not. If I hold up these, put a short wave here. Nothing. Now the oscillator's getting warm.
They were doing some work westbound, and they had to do some lane restrictions. Yeah. Now they're working eastbound on it.
It's seems to be working, just not shortwave. Could maybe try a little later. What I'm interested to do is try the phono. Try the phono. The tuner's all cleaned up, no scratching. Okay, so I'm working with it a little bit here on shortwave. I got it hooked up to my MLA 30 noise reduction shortwave loop antenna.
I'm going to get through this somehow.
I know, I'm not sure what I'm listening to, but I got one clip lead here, let me show you. I got one clip lead here clipped onto the oscillator tube. It's hard to see. Let's say get my head out of the way and give it some light. Clipped onto the cap on top of the. I got one side of this clip lead here clipped onto the cap of the oscillator tube, and the cap's on the oscillator tube, not all the way, so that the clip lead doesn't touch it, because if it does, then it oscillates all weird. And then I got antenna clipped here to the wire, which is clipped to this. That's the coaxial of the antenna, and then it's clipped to the O. That's where our signal is coming from. It's coming from this loop antenna. I think I showed it in part 1. This antenna up here. I'm not sure what station I'm listening to, but there's a little loop up there which goes to a bias T power supply. right there. And then I got a connector behind this gasoline. It's hard to see. It's an SMA to F-type connector for coax. And then it comes around here and it feeds these radios on the desk, on this desk. I used to go to the workbench, but all these radios took up too much room, and that's why I moved them here. And I have more room to work on the workbench. I can do all the shortwave stuff over here. Hook that up again. Yeah, I gotta fix the speaker. You can hear the... Yeah, that's Brother RG's chair. I did have WWV earlier. A little bit of WWVH Hawaii in there as well. So that's 10 megahertz. Oh, here's everyone's favorite. There's, what's his name? Terry Bladlock is his name or something? Everyone knows him as a screaming preacher. That would be 99.55 megahertz. That would be WRMI. That's not stereo.
On the man's eyes, the pool. No bucket, no car, no bus. The last mile was gone. You see that right man going? That little tap. It's coming up being blind, but now it's got this fingers on.
Justification puts us in right standing with God, and sanctification, seeking first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, positions us to receive 100%.
Yeah, shortwave works.
Prosperity
Shortwave is alive.
without soul prosperity is dead.
I think in the last video I kind of sort of declared that the shortwave was dead. Because I got next to nothing on it, but it just kind of woke up by itself. So, cool.
Names the conditions and lists the rewards of walking in God's ways.
Maybe it was hoping that maybe cleaning the tuner kind of helped a bit. I think, let me flip the, I only got 3 minutes left.
The Lord thy God will set thee on high.
Oop.
Shalt thou be in the city.
If you hit the way I had the tuning dial stringed up right now with that string, if you hit it just slightly, I'll move it just enough to go off. There's not a whole lot of tension.
Blessed shall be thy best and thy store.
I think that's WBCQ, World's Last Chance on 9330. Is that Romania? I think I'm around 7365 and 7335. You know that's digital mode on SSB and 40 meters, and that's like radar stuff. Cool. So shortwave is alive. Didn't get a whole lot, but it's there. There's not a whole lot on the bands, mind you, right now, so I'm not sure what that is. Some sort of radar noise, maybe. That's new. As much of the bass as possible because it's really making everything hard to. It's easier listening on AM than it is on shortwave. That's mainly because of all the interference on top of everything and all the shortwave signals can be a little bit more muffled because some of them can, they fade in and out.
Standards and technology time. This is radio station WWD, Fort Collins, Colorado, broadcasting on international 2.5, 5, 7, 15, and 20 megahertz, providing time of day at 900. Inquiries regarding these transmissions may be directed to the National Institute of Standards and Technology, radio station WWD, 2000 East County Road 58.
When it comes to religious stuff, I gotta admit, on shortwave, there are quite a few nutcases. Like I find quite a few nutcases, like Brother R.G. there, and there's Terry Blalock, the streaming preacher. On shortwave, you definitely find, as Christian myself, you definitely find there's a nutty side to religion. Somewhat. Yeah, sounds good.
Well, Premier Kenny is not happy about it. Kenny calls it contempt for democracy by Prime Minister.
Yeah, that's 6:30 shut on
for appointing a senator.
So, well, that's that. Well, that's the short wave. All right, well, I guess that's that. Shortwave is alive. It just kind of just woke up on its own and seems to be working. I'm not getting a whole lot. Well, especially because with the way I had the antenna connected, and I'll show you here. That's coming from that loop antenna, and this is just the twin lead, matching transformer. Sorry, there we go. And these are typically used for TVs, I know, but you can use them for radios. They're meant for VHF, UHF, and FM, but it's just all it is converting 75 ohms to 300 ohms. So you can use it for AM, shortwave, long wave. Some of these capacitors do need to be replaced underneath, but I won't get to that in today's video, because I don't have any capacitors. That one especially. That wax cap. Is that? That's weird. I kind of looked like the Mastashita logo for a second there. I don't think it is. There's one that says Tiger. No, it's not Mastashita. This one's not Mastashita. This one up here says Tiger. The only one that's been replaced is this guy down here. Up here. Sorry. Right there. And it's it's a 450 volt 22 microfarad. These little resistors, it's kind of warm. If I'm correct, I don't think they usually resistors don't tend to go bad all that often. But yeah, I think that's it for the for this video. So right here at the back of the radio, you can see the that white little phono jack here. All I do, and it doesn't matter which one, left or right. Red is of course right, and white is left. Usually left is mono though. So even though it doesn't matter, didn't have speakers for your record player. You could use if you had a radio that had a phono jack like this, you could plug the phono into your phono plug from your record player into your radio and use your radio speaker as a speaker for your record player. In this case, I'm just using my phone with the with this little connector. What I hate about my new phone is it doesn't have the 3mm. Of course, it's not grounded, so you get the you get the 300 ohm. You get the 60 hertz hum noise because it's ungrounded. But the problem is with my new phone. That's the one thing I miss about my old iPhone SE. Is it had the 3.5mm headphone jack. This one you gotta plug it in with the lightning charging adapter or whatever, and it's a pain in the ass. If you want to listen to something with headphones in when you're charging your phone, you can't. But I think they make little splitters that you can put on the end. But anyways, I plug that into my phone, and then I plug this in, and I can listen to. I guess I can, I can listen to podcasts or whatever through the speaker of this radio. So let me put this back in here. Okay, so now this is on. Let me find something to. Let me go to SoundCloud. Go to VORW. I hit play here.
This is the voice of the report of the week. Signing on. Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone.
Yeah, and yes, the speaker, the
2020.
Speaker cone is ripped. I used to be able to get these on SoundCloud, and remember the guy that posted these on SoundCloud, deleted his SoundCloud account and put these on a website called shortwavemusic.bandcamp cloud, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure why he deleted it, but here's it's their old broadcast clips of WWV from back in the day, all the way from the 50s till I think up to date. So there's that. He's got a whole bunch of.
This is KC2XIO.
So yeah, just with the so that's something new I discovered on this radio is the phono jack. So that's kind of neat. These are all clips of WWV and WWH.
Your attention, please. Effective July 1, 1971, WWV
So if I can find something older. Something more. Here you go, 1955, Eastern Standard Time.
Return, Eastern Standard Time is 10:10 a.m.
This is something you probably would have heard on this radio would have heard back in the day. Now you can hear the speaker. I hope these aren't copyright. Like I know Conet Project, the Conet Project clips, the shortwave number station clips. I guess they're copyright. I I found that out from the official SWL channel, Gilles in Montreal. For those of you who know who he is, I got followers from his channels over there, or subscribers, I should say.
Your attention, please. NBS radio station WWVH will be relocated to the island of Kauai, Hawaii at 0 hours Greenwich Mean Time on July 1st, 1971. First day QSL cards will be issued for reception reports, which accurately...
Anyways, I should probably stop in case that's copyright, but kind of neat. And the speaker's got a rip in it. I don't really remember where. Oh, up there, you can see it, behind the voice coil. Nothing wrong with the audio output transformer.
I think I've seen it happen over and over again. I mean, certainly it's something that we continue to see when we talk about Indigenous people in Ontario. And sometimes the issues that we see, it's in a crisis. We are in a crisis, within a crisis, within a crisis, because there are other things happening. A water crisis, there's a mental health crisis, there's a...
This is CBC Radio 1, 740 AM and 93.9 FM in Edmonton.
This is CBC News.